Oh, hello, Amy. You have something for me? Oh, you've drawn me a picture. Oh, how pretty. This must be a picture of
you!
Well, of course, as plain as day. Well, I'll just have to hang this on the wall of my room. Thank you, Amy.
It's kind of scribbly. Hey, can you come and play jacks with me now?
Well, not now, Amy. I have to do my work first. But I'll come in and play with you this afternoon. Same time as usual.
Promise?
Well, promise.
Mrs. Webster? I thank you for mending my jacket.
Oh, I'll get that button sewed on your blue suit coat tomorrow.
You are spoiling me.
I know, but, a woman in my position can't afford to have shabby-looking friends, you know.
Whose shirt? Is there another man in your life?
Mr. Dolph's room 216. An insurance salesman can't do his best in a frayed collar, so I turned it for him. See?
Oh, I'll get it. Oh, have you taken up surrealist art?
Oh, that's Amy's work. My room is papered with her drawings. Such a sweet little thing. Hotel life is pretty lonely for a little girl. Oh, you can't write books standing around talking to chambermaids. Back to work.
Vinia Webster. Chambermaid and what shall I call her? Personal guardian, house mother to all of us who live here on the second floor of the Majestic Hotel. She doesn't know it, but she's the new chapter in my book. It took no wisdom on my part to see that she was an extraordinary person. But I never even suspected her incredible secret. It was just by accident I stumbled onto it one day in the Courier News office. Hi!
That boy of mine, he's so stubborn. I can't talk him into anything that's good for him.
What's Arny objecting to now?
I signed him up for a dancing class that Mabel Turnpour's starting for boys and girls his age, and he refuses to go. Says it'll ruin his legs for football.
Well, a fella can't risk that.
Maybe if you'd talk to him.
Oh, no, Chris, not me.
He'll be entering high school in a couple of years. They'll be having school dances, and there'll be Arny on the outside, looking in, wishing he... Cameron, you're not listening.
Chris, this can't be. Come here. It's impossible. But it's her face, her name. Vinia Webster.
Didn't you know this about her?
No. Socially prominent couple. 40th anniversary. This was just over 2 years ago. How could she have been a socially prominent woman for 40 years and then practically overnight become a chambermaid? I don't believe it. Society matron to chambermaid, and right in the same town. How did her friends react?
Oh, there were quite a few raised eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
But I must say, Vinia didn't let that bother her.
I'll bet it did, though. Well, what about this husband, Miles Webster? What became of him?
He died shortly after that anniversary. He was such a sweet, wonderful husband. I'll always remember Vinia telling me about the night of that anniversary. Evidently, Miles had insisted on arranging everything.
No, put them on that table, Elsie. Oh, yes. That's fine. Perfect. Uh-oh, she's coming. Where did you put the gifts?
In the dining room on the sideboard.
I'll do that. That chair's too heavy for you. I don't want people to think I married a weightlifter.
Weightlifter? Oh, you hardly let me lift a finger around here, let alone weights. Oh, Miles, these flowers are beautiful.
Don't soil your hands, honey.
All I want you to do now is sit down so the ceremony can begin.
Ceremony?
Well, of course. This is a solemn occasion. Mrs. Webster, in recognition of 40 years of valiantly facing the hardships of marriage,
Such hardships.
we, the Committee of Husbands, award you this beautiful dandelion.
Oh, Miles. Oh, this is the most beautiful dandelion I've ever seen.
Don't stick your pretty fingers. I'll pin it on you. Ceremony isn't over yet.
There's more.
In memory of the first date we ever had, and the first present I ever bought you, we award you this handsome, symbolic gift.
Cracker Jack.
You remember it.
Well, of course. It was the state fair, and I was hungry.
Do you remember the surprise you found in the Cracker Jack box?
How could I ever forget such a lovely thing? Tin detective badge.
Okay. Look inside. Oh, go on.
Why? Oh, no, Miles. Rubies. No.
I didn't have time to have the word detective printed on your new badge, but tomorrow I'll...
Oh, it's so beautiful, but it's too much. It's just too expensive.
Now, what kind of talk is that? This is our ruby anniversary. And you're the only wife I've got.
I know. But, honey, I know the business has been slow lately.
Arvinia, I've told you 1,000 times, the business is my concern, not yours. Haven't I? All right, then. Well, look, honey, you're not going to spoil my pleasure, are you?
Of course not.
That's my Arvinia. Well, now, let's put aside these trinkets and waltz into the dining room.
But the people you invited aren't here yet.
Oh, yes, they are. Come on, you'll see.
You mean they've been in there all this time? Look, where are the table? Just for two.
I told you. I invited only the people who mattered. Is that all right?
Oh.
Well, of course, I'm more mystified now than ever. With Miles Webster such a fine husband and provider, how could Vinia have so suddenly become a chambermaid?
Because Miles Webster was a short-sighted fool. What a dirty trick he played on her.
What? Well, Chris was just telling me what a perfect husband he was.
Oh, sure. He kept her up in the clouds as long as he was around, playing the big free-handed guy. But what did he leave her? I know, because I helped try to settle the estate. Then he wound up with a nice bunch of bills and debts.
And some wonderful memories.
Try using memories to buy groceries. What a hole he left her in.
Well, gee, weren't there any relatives to help her?
Only one I knew of was a nephew of Miles, a fellow named Ralph. Lives in Chicago, I think. As far as I know, he did nothing for Vinia.
You know, you'd think she'd be bitter, but she certainly doesn't appear to be.
No, she's amazing. Oh, but what kind of a life is that for a woman like her? And at her age, 67, something like that. A man has a responsibility to his wife, and it's more than showing her a good time as long as he's around.
Why are you looking at me like that? Am I doing something wrong?
No, I was, Well, frankly, Mrs. Webster, I was admiring you. I might as well tell you I've just learned your whole history from Chris Logan and Lloyd Ramsey.
Well, then you know. Well, I suppose now I'm going to be a chapter in your book.
Possibly. If I did, I'd call it, A Great Lady's Courage.
There was no courage. I had 40 wonderful years and no regrets. I was to blame, too, for what happened to our finances. I knew what was going on, sort of, but Miles got such pleasure out of giving. I didn't have the heart to be practical, and... Oh, Will you excuse me?
But, how did you end up in this job?
I often wonder that myself. Our house had to be sold to pay debts, and blindly I moved into the hotel here, foolishly expecting the money to come from somewhere, but...
Lloyd mentioned a nephew.
Yes, dear Ralph. He and his wife urged me to come live with them in Chicago, but I didn't want to impose. So I said to myself, Vinny, old girl, you must go to work. What? Work? What did I know how to do? Arrange flowers, pour tea.
Not many openings there.
And then one day the hotel manager came to my room to throw me out, I thought, but actually to apologize because a chambermaid had quit. And my room wasn't cleaned up. Well, I'll never forget the look on his face when I desperately blurted out, I'll take the job. He thought I was joking, of course. I couldn't convince him I was serious until I made him understand I couldn't pay my hotel bill.
That did it, huh?
Yes, but he was very nice.
And, you like this job, don't you?
Well, at first I hated it. Then suddenly I stopped feeling useless as I had before. I discovered it was a wonderful thing to wake up in the morning with work to do, with people depending on me. Now I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Benny, here's a... Oh, excuse me, Mr. Brooks, but this telegram just came from Mrs. Webster. And I thought it might be important.
Oh, thank you, Harry. Forgive me for robbing you of so much of your time with my life story.
Not at all. I thank you for it.
Oh, dear. Oh, no.
Bad news?
No. Yes, it is. My nephew Ralph and his wife are coming to visit me.
That's bad news? Are they that awful?
No, they're wonderful. But, well, they don't know I work here. They think I'm a guest here.
I see. Would it hurt if they learned the truth?
Oh, yes. It would shock Ralph. Why, he'd feel to blame somehow. He'd feel so guilty he couldn't rest. He mustn't find out. He'd never understand. Well, I mustn't bother you any longer with my problems.
No. Now, you sit down and relax. We'll figure something out. Now, when did you say they're coming? Tomorrow afternoon at 4?
It's not that I'm ashamed of my work here, because I'm not.
I know that. Well, why are they coming, do they say?
No, just a visit, I guess. Oh, poor Ralph. I can just hear what he'll say. Great Scott, Vinia, why didn't you tell us you were in such horrible straits? Oh, he'll be so conscience-stricken.
Well, do you think maybe if I talk to Ralph? Hello. Yes, she's here. Just a moment. It's for you.
Oh, I hope it's not Ralph. Hello. Oh, yes, Miss Trimble. No, I haven't asked him yet, but I will. Yes, I'll see you tonight at the usual time. All right. Goodbye. I hope you'll forgive me, but would you mind if I borrowed some of your books? You see, in the evenings, I read to Miss Trimble. She's that sweet elderly lady in 219. Her eyesight is failing badly.
Oh, sure. Help yourself. Boy, you really put in long days, don't you?
You'd be surprised how keeping busy shortens them. But tomorrow will be a long day waiting for Ralph and Mavis.
Hey, I've been getting a sneaky idea here. According to the telegram, they'll only be here a couple of hours. Now, why not let them think you're still a guest?
How could I? One look at my room in the employees section.
Oh, don't take them to your room. Meet them here in mine.
Here? Oh, I couldn't. What if the manager ever found out?
He won't. Now, look. They're probably coming here to find out if you're all right and happy. Which you are. But in a different way than they think. Now, they'll see that everything is fine and go on their way happy. And you'll be happy. And if you're happy, I'll be happy. And everyone on this floor will be happy. It could turn out to be the happiest day Millsburg has ever known.
Oh, I wonder. Should I?
Of course you should.
But I feel so deceptive.
Good. Enjoy it. Now, let's see. They'll be here tomorrow afternoon at 4. So you do your other rooms first. Then when you come to do mine, you bring your good dress. And I'll make sure that all of my things are out of here. Oh, hi. Come on in. I've just about got my junk out of sight. All except that big old desk. If they wonder about it, tell them it's an antique you picked up in Mark Twain's attic.
Hey, that's a fine-looking dress.
Oh, thank you. You know what phrase has been running through my mind all day? Oh, what a tangled web we weave when
First we practice to deceive. Now, you stop thinking of this as a deception. We're doing it for Ralph's own good. Remember that.
I'm trying to, but I keep feeling...
Stop worrying. Everything will turn out great. It's almost 3. That gives you an hour to dust and change your dress. I'll go down and brief Harry McGil, make sure there are no slip-ups. Oh, my pipe rack. You don't want Ralph to think you've taken up pipe smoking. Cigars, yes, but not pipes. Well, you're on your own now. Good luck, Mrs. Vinia Webster. When Ralph Webster and his wife arrive around 4 o'clock...
I know. Send them up to your room. Which reminds me, I haven't had lunch yet today. I better grab a sandwich, so I'll be back on time.
Good, I'll join you.
Joe, keep an eye on the desk, will you? And if anyone wants me, I'll be in the coffee shop.
Okay, Harry.
Just a minute, sir. I'll get the desk clerk.
Oh, no, that won't be necessary. We don't want to register. We just want to see my aunt.
Mrs. Webster.
Vinia Webster?
That's right.
Well, I don't know if she can see you now.
Can't see us, but she's expecting us. We sent her a telegram.
Oh, well, just a minute, please.
By George, Mavis, you know we made it ahead of schedule? Oh, that car of ours can really get out.
Housekeeper. Vinia Webster? Who wants to see her? Oh. Well, just a second. She should be in room 212.
Aunt Vinia. Aunt Vinia. Aunt Vinia, what in the world are you doing?
You shouldn't be doing such things, Aunt Vinia. Call the chambermaid.
Chambermaid? Yes, call it a... Oh, yes, of course.
What kind of a hotel is this? Anyway, don't they have any chambermaids? What kind of an outfit is that you have on?
Hmm? Oh, well, it's just a... You see,
Hey, Vinia, I've run out of soap powder. You got some I can borrow so I don't have to traipse clear down to the... Oh, excuse me. I didn't know there was anybody here. Thanks, Vinia. I'll pay you back.
Well, now you know. It's true. I work here.
Great Scott. Aunt Vinia, why didn't you tell us you were in such horrible straits? One phone call would... Chambermaid, changing beds.
Now, Ralph, calm down.
It's not horrible, really.
But all you had to do was write and let us... mopping floors.
Well,
Ralph, be quiet for a moment and let Vinia talk.
But she was down on her hands and knees, scrubbing floors. Oh, I never had anything like this hit me before. Well, thank goodness we came when we did. Mavis, you tell her why we're here.
Well, you see, Vinia, we've been thinking about you lately.
Cleaning out waste
we found
baskets.
this very lovely place, not far from us. It's a fine...
It's a fine old home for old retired people.
Old?
Yes, people your own age. So you'll have plenty of company and lots of easy chairs to sit around in, TV sets all over the place. Really great. You won't have to lift a finger.
Really, Vinia, it is a lovely place. You'd love it. And we'd be close enough so we could see you often.
Well, it does sound nice, but I imagine expensive, too.
Well, sure, but, well, you see, we had figured that you still had money. But now, don't you worry about that. We'll take care of the money.
Oh, that's too much, Ralph, really, and actually, I'm happy here.
Now, Aunt Vinny, you don't have to put up a front for us. We understand. Mm-hmm. Now, how long before you can get packed?
Packed?
Well, sure. You see, we had just come here to discuss this idea with you, but Now that we know the truth, we're going to get you out of this right away.
Ralph, please believe me. I like it here. I have friends, and I feel useful, and I...
Oh, Aunt Vinny, be sensible. Now, do you think Mavis and I could go back to Chicago, knowing that you're here, working yourself to death?
Oh, but I'm not.
Now, look. You are 67. How much longer do you think they're going to keep you on here? Not long now. And what then?
Well, I've tried not to think about that.
But you must. And think about Uncle Miles. You know what he would have wanted for you.
Yes, I know. I'll be packed in an hour. Well, they're waiting for me down in the lobby. Thank you for everything. I don't know when I'll see you again.
I just can't believe you're going. An hour ago, we were gleefully weaving our tangled web. Me and my big plans. Look, are you sure you're doing the right thing?
I'm sure. Ralph, darn him, he's right, and I know it. Who knows, I may even like that place. Well, Oh, here's your book I borrowed to read to Miss Trimble. Would you explain to her? I didn't have the heart to tell her I won't be in to read to her tonight. Or any night.
I'll try to tell her. I'll walk down the lobby with you.
I wish Aunt Vinny would hurry up. It's going to be long past midnight before we get home as it is. Oh, there she is. You're ready, Aunt Vinny. Good. We better start hitting the road. It'll be dark pretty soon.
Mrs. Webster. This call's for you.
Oh.
It's Amy Kendrick's mother. Evidently, Amy won't eat her dinner unless you come up there.
Oh, dear.
She said something about you promising to play some game with the kid, but you didn't come. So now, Amy won't eat.
Oh, no. Well, tell the poor, sweet little thing that I'm going away, and I'll write. No. Tell her I'll be right up.
But, Aunt Vinny, we're ready to leave.
Oh, Ralph, dear Ralph, I'm not going with you.
What?
Oh, Ralph, I do appreciate this wonderful thing you want to do for me, but you see, this is my work here. The only work I've ever really done. And there are people here who need me. Oh, if you could only realize how important that is at my age, to be needed. I can't leave.
But, Aunt Vinny,
We understand, Aunt Vinya. Really, we do. And when you need us, we'll be there.
Thank you.
Allow me. Mrs. Vinny Webster.
Oh, making beds, mopping floors. Oh, Uncle Miles must be spinning a mile a minute.
My next chapter concerns an 18-year-old boy who, according to town talk, had it made. For his story, come back for another look at Millsburg through my window on Main Street. And remember, Tony is famous for research. You can have confidence in their fine products. Good night.